Oh, literally just punched the desk. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I am Travis Snell, the Geek First Podcast, here with another edition of Geek First Thought Bubbles. If you don't know, this is a show where myself or anybody else will jump on our YouTube channel and give thoughts on a trailer, or a casting decision, an announcement, or maybe a quick movie review. And that's what I'm doing right now. As you can see by the title, doing Hacksaw Ridge. The reason I picked this movie is just because, honestly, it's just because Oscar hype around it. We talked about this last year, Liam and myself, on Rant, Rave, Repeat episode. Go check that back. It's a great one. That I'm a big fan of the Oscars. I love the Oscars. I love movies. I love a lot of movies. I know there's lots of people, and Liam's one that's like, oh, Oscar baiting movies. And I agree, there's definitely some out there, but there's usually a reason why people hail these movies so much, and because lots of times they're pretty great. So yeah, if I do any reviews on here, I think most reviews we're going to be doing together, but this is one I'm going to do quickly. There's going to be no spoilers. Yeah, so watched it, and this is actually pretty late. I wanted to see opening week, and I can't remember, something else came out. I don't know if it was Beasts. It was Beasts or something else, but I wanted to, but I was like, oh, I'll see the next one. I didn't get a chance to, but finally got a chance to. I quite enjoyed it. I went in with very low expectations. Not low expectations, actually, because the buzz, that's the only unfortunate thing about, being like just a movie fan, that you don't get a screen or whatnot, you're doing this, is the thing is, you do have like a predetermined notion going into it. So like when I talked about with Squad, I didn't look at the reviews, but even on social media, you kind of knew, okay, there's some negative going around with this. With these films, and this is going to be the first one. I'm going to try and review most of the Oscar movies, the majority. Last year I saw every one, I think, but one I can't remember. I think maybe there was one. Well, like, I guess I know I saw that. Because no, I forgot that I saw Brooklyn. I just forgot. But anyways, I'm going to try and watch them all. I liked it, because I don't want to be that person like, oh, I should have won, or these movies shouldn't be nominated. It's like, you don't even watch 10 of them. I understand, because they look all hoity-toity and whatnot, but, so, there's a general thing when I'm going to be going in these movies, that the majority of these are going to be critical darlings, or praised already. So went in, hearing all this great stuff from many critics that I trust, because I trust a lot of critics. I believe in critics. I believe in Harvey Dent. So went in with, went in with higher expectations than usual, but excitement was not there. Excitement because it's just like, it's a war movie, and for me, I love war movies, but I was like, when I was thinking back on it, I was like, Saving Private Ryan and Full Metal Jacket, and Platoon. These are movies that, to me, are the definition, or like the pinnacle of the war film franchise or genre. Yeah, genre, not franchise. They're not like, oh, big cinematic war universe. So for me, when I heard about this buzz, and the thing that attracted me most was the buzz, one, but then two was just the caliber of actors in it. But then after that, like, if this wasn't one that had a lot of buzz around, I probably wouldn't have gone and seen it, because I look at war films when they come out, and especially I feel like from like 2005 to 2000, like, I'd say 15, because I'll take out this year. I'd say, like, in that decade, there's a lot of, like, meh war movies, and it just feels like, when you have the Platoons and the Saving Private Ryans, and you have the Full Metal Jackets, I just look at them like, I don't know if this genre has anything else left for me to be like, oh, that's a good one, or that's better than the last ones, It kind of, like, defines it in a way. And there's just ones where it's like, I don't have any examples on my... I guess it's kind of like the same way, this is a bad example because it's a reboot, but it's kind of like The Predator, I'm very excited for Shane Black's Predator, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be anything matching the original, so I'm going to get excited, but like, I still feel like I'm not going to be uber excited, because like, I feel like we've gone the best film, that's the best way to put it. With Predator, I feel like we've gone the best Predator film we're going to get. With those ones I list off, I feel like we're going to get the best war film we ever got. I look at those three for multiple different reasons. I feel like those are your three best ones. And I know I'm saying three, but I'm saying, like, there's not one. I know I'm saying that, but it's just, I feel that those ones they take different takes on the war. So that's, and you could throw it actually Apocalypse Now too. I guess you could do that. Yeah, you could. So yeah, I'd throw that one out there. I guess I didn't personally throw it out because I've seen that one the least out of the three. Those three I just grew up on. They're always on TV. Platoon was like one of my first Blu-rays I got because it was in the cheap bin when I got Blu-ray player. So yeah, so I went in not that excited. Like I said, I walked out. I quite enjoyed myself. It was good. It was it was that first half an hour, 45 minutes where I'm like, okay, we're going through the motions, you know, like he's gonna go to war. He had like there's the struggle and the tension between him and his fellow soldiers and whatnot. So it was like all the tropes, and that's when I was sitting there. I was kind of like, okay, like it's very well made, it's very well directed, it's very well acted. But I was sitting there like, okay, I've seen nothing new. You know, I can say, oh, this movie's good, but nothing that was blowing me away. I feel once you kind of hit that hour mark, that's when you start to get blown away. I can't say that I probably loved it as much as everyone else, because I think I just have that inherent thing of like, oh, it's a war movie. I just don't get that excited for them, you know. And especially with this one, well, okay, the majority of them are true stories, but this one heavily hits upon true stories. So the second, I'm not doing spoilers, so I'm just saying what I went in thinking what the movie's going to be about. Like, oh, struggle with the people because he won't use a gun. He saves everybody, and everyone loves him in the end. And I'm not telling you the movie, that's just what I thought going in. And it's just like, that's where I was like, I wasn't excited for this, but I quite liked it. Took a few twists and turns. I guess I'm not going to get into spoilers, but there's his dad is played by Hugo Weaving. There's a really great relationship there. Like, what they have going on is really good. And that, for me, is actually my favorite part of this movie. Hugo Weaving is great. Like, Matrix, like, after Matrix, like, and I just say that because that's what made him famous, but it just seems like he's just, whenever he's in a film, he's either the best part or he's one of the best, like, utility players. Where in this movie, I call him a utility player, where he doesn't steal this movie by any means. He's maybe in it for like half an hour. That's not a spoiler. That's just like, it's just his dad. It's just a connection, or it's just his relationship he has with his dad. And I feel like he doesn't take away, but he adds so much to the film. So Hugo Weaving was a big thing. Rachel Griffiths played his mom. I guess there's getting that. Andrew Garfield, talk about, and that's when these reviews will probably be talking more about the cast because I don't want to spoil stuff. But Andrew Garfield's terrific in this. He was a guy that ever since Social Network, I was like, man, that guy was really good. And when they announced him as Spider-Man, I remember being younger and being a little film nerd and just being like, oh, he's going to be perfect. He's going to be perfect. He pretty much was. I was not the biggest fan of his Toby, his Peter, but I think that was more of a writing thing. But you look at last year, too, one of my favorite films that I saw actually this year. Not favorite films, but a film I really, really liked was him and Michael Shannon, 99 Homes. There's this. He does a phenomenal job. He's the best part of this movie. Silence is coming out, so he's killing it. He's definitely, honestly, or obviously, he's going to get a nomination for this or Silence. Haven't seen Silence because no one has. But one of the two, he does a really great job of portraying the character. Because for me, and this is not to get into like a moral discussion, like I'm not into religion at all. I'm not a like people maybe call me an atheist. I'm not really an atheist. I'm not really Christian. I'm not Catholic. I just kind of just like, I don't need religion. So anytime something centers around religion, and this shouldn't be a big of a spoiler. They kind of hinted in the trailer, but the main thing, if you don't know what this movie is, he's a soldier. He wants to be a medic, but he doesn't want to use a gun. So of course, his generals and the sergeants, they put him through hell because he won't use a gun. And it takes him a while to get into the actual war because they just want to send him home because it's just like, you're dead ridden. It's like, why? You're not going to use a gun. You're not going to save anybody. So I can buy that, but lots of the movie is very heavy-handed and tied to the Bible and God, which is fine. It is like, if you're into religion, great. But like, even if you like that as like a storyline or a concept in movies, then you'll really like this. For me, I'm not a big fan, so like I won't be going back to rewatch this over and over because for me, I never, like, as someone that doesn't connect with religion, when he's like, I'm doing this because the Bible, you know, because this is what God says. So for me, that was the thing where like, okay, like I can see it was very well done, but it was, it's not my favorite sort of thing. So the thing that, my point is, Andrew Garfield takes that character that I usually would not be into and does a very good job and makes me not believe that he believes it, but just, you really buy why he's doing it and you understand why he's doing it. Where other people, to me, as someone that's not religious, could see that and be like, this guy doesn't really act like he's believing it all in the Bible. You know, like he'd be like, oh yeah, because the Bible said this, you know, and it's just like, okay, this is just a line. Where Andrew Garfield makes you really feel like that. So that was a big thing for me. Whole film is great. Like, whole film, he is great from the start. He has good chemistry with Teresa Palmer, who's his love interest, or, you know, wife. Sorry, spoilers, it's a true story. They were pretty good. The very beginning was not awkward, but I didn't there was a couple, it was not off to the greatest start, we'll say that. For me, I didn't find the chemistry. It felt like they were forcing the relationship. If that's how they've been in real life, great. But like, it was just like the actual, like, that 5 minutes where they're meeting, the scene, and there's a scene after, if you've seen the film. It just felt a little forced to me. Some of Garfield, like a little spoiler, like Garfield at one point is just staring at her in the theater. they're sitting seeing a movie together, and he's staring at her for like a long, long time. Like, and that could be what happened, sure, but in the movie, it didn't feel that organic. Kind of came off as creepy. But then after, it picked up, and they were great. She's not in that much, but they were great. Like I said, Rachel Griffiths, a big fan of her from Six Feet Under Brother. Sister played her mother. The actual soldiers and the people in the war were fantastic. Sam Worthington came out of nowhere. I didn't even know some of these people. I didn't know Rachel Griffiths was in it. I didn't know Sam Worthington because this is, I think, the Oscar film the least that I've looked into. But he was great, and I guess like I didn't put a bow tie on. I'm sorry, but yeah, Garfield to me, even in the war stuff, from being you get to see him as a normal guy who decides he's going to go to war, the struggle of trying to get into the war because of the gun, and the actual effects of the war, and like him in the actual war, all great. Don't just want to bow tie it and say like he's phenomenal in this movie, one of his best performances ever, really. Like I said, there's many things about this character on paper I've been like, I'm not gonna like this movie, I'm not gonna like this character. He made me like the movie and the character. If it wasn't him, who knows? Because he does a good job of being brave but very vulnerable at the same time. Sam Worthington is really good. What is his name? I got some just a quick note here. Luke Bracey. I think he's gonna be something in the future. I've only seen him in two things: this and Me, Him, and Her, a Max Landis film they directed, and I like that. Yeah, it's a zany movie, but I liked that, and I liked him in it. And this movie, I actually liked him second the most after Garfield was Bracey. I don't know, there was something about it, and he is just kind of playing that once again kind of war trope of like tough guy who like says like go home, go home, Dawes, but like then at the end of course it's gonna be like, oh, you're like you're all right, like I'm sorry, minor spoilers, but it's that character where it's like the bully turned good kind of way, so, and he does a good job at it. Like that's the thing, everything in this movie for me that was gonna be maybe cookie cutter took a turn and wasn't, and that's what I like to see. Like it, or at least the acting made it not cookie cutter. Vince Vaughn is in this. He plays like the sergeant, the drill sergeant, of course, who's yelling at people and whatnot. That kind of took me for a surprise. They throw a lot of humor in some of his scenes. Like, not that he's doing humor, but it was a surprise in the movie. Tries to be lighter. I guess that was just myself from all the trailers. The movie just looks super intense. That was thrown in there. So that's why I don't know if it was good or bad. It comes down to your taste. But for me, it didn't. Not all of it works. Some of the humor works. Sometimes I laugh, and sometimes I was like, this is taking me out of it a bit. The actual war stuff is great. I think the biggest thing is, and when I was talking about those films that are like 2005 to 2015, it's like there's been so many war movies that don't feel like they're in war. It feels like a Call of Duty Battlefield type of war scenario. Like it feels too heightened and too actiony. This gives you a great sense of war. For me, a war film to be successful and to be a good war film is it actually has to scare me. Like when I'm seeing this, it has to make me fear and remember, man, war is a scary thing, and I would not want to be there. Like personally, I would not be. Like, shout out to everybody that does and that is in the army. I couldn't do it, So I look at that and I'm like, and that's where this film was well done once again, because like, okay, another war movie. And the way I say it is just because recently war movies have just been that another war movie. It's a Call of Duty. Like when you play Call of Duty, you don't get that sense of, in the newer ones, you don't get this sense of dread or terror or sadness, and that's what you do in this movie, and that's where it reminded me of Private Ryan, reminded me of Full Metal Jacket. This is very in your face. I hate to say gritty because gritty's used so much, but just like kind of just literally down in the trenches, dirty movie, but in a good way. Like it's very kind of claustrophobic in a way. The way it's shot, beautifully. It's directed great. I'm trying to think of more, but yeah, I think that's for me the biggest thing was Garfield. The actors pretty much all killed. There was no one that stood up. I was like, oh, I don't like that. The actual war scenes, because there's a good hour that's just pretty much just war scenes. And once again, I would think you tell me that on paper, oh, that's going to be tiresome, because I feel like I've seen the best. This was a different take because this was a medic. So like we've gotten similar things in the past, but it was just purely from, most of the time, purely from the medic's perspective, not using a gun. And that was great. And knowing it's true story, that does add to the element, even though, like I felt like I knew he was going to survive. It still added to it because it's, for me this time it did. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people like, it'll be like a mediocre movie and then you throw true story on there and people be like, oh my God, this is like, it's like, I hate to say it, but I feel like that's the thing with, what the fuck is the movie that won the Academy Award last year? What is it? It's Michael Keaton's the newspaper one. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. It's not the Globe, it's not the whatever. I don't know what it is, but I like the movie enough, but I just feel like because it was a true story, that's why a lot of people really went crazy for it. And fair enough, but I don't think that. I think it was good to see that film, and being a true story made it more important, but I don't think it made the movie any better. Where this, it actually did for me, but this movie would still be good without that. Like I said, these are just quick ones, so this is a quick review. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, yeah, they make his reasoning for killing good. I just put for Weaving fantastic because I love him in this movie. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it does have a little bit to do with some hype going in. I thought like everyone's saying how amazing it was. I thought it was very, very good. It was. I think it could be an amazing movie depending on your taste. If you like war movies, you'll love this. If you're like me in the fence, if you're in the fence, that's gonna hurt. But if you're on the fence, I'd say watch this because I was on the fence going in, came out, really enjoyed it. If you don't like war movies, you're not gonna like this. That being said, though, I might watch this movie again someday, but maybe 2 to 3 years, unless it's kind of a thing of like, I don't know, like a Netflix, and it's like somebody somebody I'm hanging out with hasn't seen this movie, like, oh, I want to watch it. Okay, sure. Like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's more than that. It's a really, really good movie. It's just because of the 8 is more for how everything came together, the acting, the cinematography, the directing, the pacing of the film is really good, except for there's a part where I don't want to spoil it. Somewhere within the first 45 minutes, there's a pacing issue for me that really slowed it down. And this was in the part where I'm like, I'm starting to get a little bored. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this movie. So I'm giving it an 8. So that's where it is. Like I said, I think it was really, really good. I probably will not watch this movie again for a long time, if not ever, because I can say, oh, this is really good. But for me, a war film, like, for me, Full Metal Jacket, what happens in that movie, it makes me come back because it's one of Kubrick's best, and he's the first hour of that movie speaks for itself. Platoon, for me, it's just fun seeing William Dafoe, because William Dafoe does one of his best performances, I think, in that movie. And even Saving Private Ryan, though, I haven't seen that probably in about, I think, 2 years, so not that bad, but still, war movies are not ones that I watch over and over. But I think it's so well done, this movie, that majority of people will like it. I definitely see it getting nominated for some Oscars. Like, for sure, it's one of those movies that comes out where I don't think it's gonna win, but it's gonna be nominated a lot. Win more for some of your major ones, like your Best Picture. Mel Gibson, I highly doubt will be nominated for Best Director because of the past. Andrew Garfield, I can't say if he'll be nominated for this because I have to say silence, but he'll be nominated for one of them, and I don't know which one. I don't know if he could win because there's not really a big front runner. Oh, I guess Manchester by the Sea. If you like Oscar movies, I'm going to be talking about here. But maybe the technical ones. But yeah, you like war movies, see this. If you're on the fence, I think it's still good, but you wouldn't have to see it. If you don't like war movies, don't watch this. Give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you very much. I'm not sure when the next Geek vs. Thought Bubbles will be, but I promise you,